Hello, beautiful friends. How are you all? We have another big new moon in Capricorn today, and this is going to be a short update because I don't really know what I'm capable of. I have been feeling it big time. Big respect to Wurundjeri people. I'm speaking to you from their lands, stolen, unceded. Respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people who might be watching. I hope you're all hanging in there and doing okay. This is a really big time. We all know it. We can see it in the world around us. A lot of us are feeling it very deeply in our own lives. This new moon is a Capricorn new moon. Emotions often feel really overwhelming during Capricorn full moons. It's an initiating energy, but it's also an ending energy because it occurs at the same degree that all of the coronavirus activity began back in January 2020. It's also conjunct Pluto. The new moon occurs at 23 degrees, Pluto is at 24 degrees, and that's a really intense energy. And because it takes us back to the beginning of 2020, it's really highlighting for us all the areas in our lives in which we've grown and changed and transformed and been challenged and begun to initiate new possibilities in our lives. With Pluto in the mix, it's such a powerful degree, so close to the new moon. It's really surfacing a lot of buried, deep, dark, painful, challenging, fearful material for many of us. And in the world, it's showing us what's not done. It's showing us where we may have betrayed ourselves, where we may still have wounds that are needing to be addressed and healed so that we can continue on this journey of building what we have begun imagining. And it's really difficult. It's really difficult and really painful. Pluto is the planet of death and destruction and regeneration and riches. It is the planet that rules. It is a planet of power. It can involve power dynamics and issues of domination, but it's also about our deepest fears. You know, death is what we fear. Pluto was the god of the underworld. Pluto had two incarnations, two names. Hades was the lord of death, the god of the underworld, and really associated with those really negative aspects of power and domination. Pluto was the same god, but he had a different name. As Pluto, he was the god of riches. He was the loving husband of Persephone, who Hades abducted and took to the underworld. So we have this kind of, there's this dualism that happens under that archetype of Pluto, which is playing out for us as well. And it happens underground. The new moon is also a kind of underground energy because it's still dark. We've planted something. We can't see what it is. It's confusing. This moon is also going out of bounds this afternoon, which means that it's also not behaving, it's not following the rules of the sun, and it is doing what it wants. So it is a really loaded moon. It's like a deep and rocky crevasse. But of course, Capricorn likes to climb up rocky walls. So we have what we need to get through it, but we need to be really good with ourselves, because it's huge energy, and we are moving through a lot of old material as we are gaining traction in terms of the new dreams and the new possibilities, and it's huge work. This moon is also ruled by Saturn, because it's a Capricorn new moon, a Capricorn moon ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in Aquarius. And Saturn this week is squaring Mars for the final time in the three squares that began in 2020. Around August 24 was the first square between Mars and Saturn. And we know this energy. Mars has been in Aries for, 5 months. And it is a really challenging energy as well. So this is infused into the mood and the feeling of this new moon. The tension, squares are tensions that generate action because they're really uncomfortable. Saturn is restriction, limitation, authority, discipline, hard work. Mars is, I have the action, I have the idea, I want to initiate it, I want to move, I want to go forward. What do I want? I'm going to get it. Saturn is in a superior position, so Mars is not able to really move forward as he would like to in this square. In Taurus, he also brings all that Martian energy, the fight, the fire, the aggression, the passion, the desire, the action, into Taurus, which is fixed Earth. Saturn is also in a fixed sign of Aquarius. But Mars in fixed Earth, you know, Taurus is a very slow growing, abundant, fecund sign. It can be very stubborn. We know when bulls are enraged that bulls are having a lovely time, you know, chilling out for the most part, but when they're enraged, you know, they bring the force of a ton of material. And we have seen that play out, that kind of aggression in the world. And the opposition, or the squaring tension between those repressive authoritarian forces and the rebellion, the violence, the reactivity. There's another interesting thing for me that's going on in this story that I just want to remember here, and that is that Saturn in Aquarius squaring Mars in Taurus is kind of taking us, in my mind, to an older, more ancient story, or a series of more ancient stories. In mythology, Saturn was the Titan god who ruled the Golden Age. And Taurus is the oldest constellation, the oldest known constellation. We know at the caves at Lascaux in France, which are, the paintings there are about 17,000 years old. The painting of the Oryx, the bull, has the Pleiades constellation on its face and around its head, and the Pleiades is part of the Taurus constellation. That's 17,000 years old, so it's a very old story. Earth is the beginning of this story, and here we are at this transition time in the world, in global politics, in economies. Taurus also rules the economy, or it rules money and wealth and abundance. Aquarius really rules markets. So we have this tension between, you know, the markets and the people, Aquarius, and Saturn wanting to build around new ideas that give form to possibilities of a fairer system, because Saturn is more justice oriented in Aquarius. And then in Taurus we have Uranus, the planet of radical, unpredictable change, shocking disruptions, and the great awakener, the liberator. Saturn is going to be squaring Uranus all year. So this week we have Saturn squaring Mars, and at the end of the week we'll be having Jupiter squaring Uranus. Now Jupiter expands everything and makes it really big. Jupiter's also in Aquarius. It wants to do good in Aquarius because it's not in its fall anymore. It's moving forward towards its rulership in Pisces, which it'll move into in around March. But it is wanting to expand things and make them better. But Uranus is in Taurus, fixed Earth. Uranus wants to change. It wants us to create a dynamic movement into a more innovative place, both in terms of economies and markets and resources, environment, how we treat the world, how we treat the Earth's resources. But Taurus is also about self-value, self-worth. So it's asking us to change and to innovate in terms of how we regard our own resources, the resources of our energy, of our creativity, of our self-worth and love, our relationships. So Jupiter is going to be showing us, because it makes everything so pronounced and so highlighted, I think this week we might see where some of the story of the Uranus-Saturn square might be activated for us this year. But this is really big energy, and it is going to be building and building and building up until Mars is conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Mars is a planet of aggression. Uranus is a planet of radical revolution and upheaval and disruption and chaos. That is, in the US, of course, Inauguration Day. We have a number of really big astrological signatures in the coming 2 weeks. We want to really prepare ourselves to be as grounded as we possibly can. We want to take that earthy Taurian calm, the chill cows and bulls in the field is what we want to be working towards as all this upheaval is happening around us and possibly within us. The material that is surfacing with this Pluto conjunction to the new moon is not trying to punish us or tell us that we are doing it wrong, that we're bad, that we're not worthy, although they may well be the feelings that come up, and they've certainly come up for me. You know, as I said, Taurus is also the sign of self-worth, and so this revolution with Uranus and Taurus is a revolution about self-worth. And to get to self-worth, the wounds have to be triggered, because the wounds have to be healed in order for that kind of self-respect and the abundance of our possible life and relationship to ourselves. We have to feel the wounds painfully in order to be able to see them clearly, in order to be able to move through them and grow and evolve through them. So, kindness to ourselves, patience, calm, trusting that the journey is going to unfold in accordance with our intentions, although not as expected. Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. But today is a day to plant intentions. What do we want to create in this next cycle and for 2021? If 2021 is the year of personal revolution, as I have suggested, that's not my idea, that is what a number of astrologers are saying, what do you want the personal revolution to be in your world, in your life? For me, it is a continued journey of a revolution in self-worth and relationship to the material world. I have some big intentions to plant today, and I hope that you will all find a space in which to connect with yourselves and create those kinds of intentions for yourselves. Where can you see the possibility of change? Where are you inspired to grow? What do you want to create? We are each responsible for this movement into a new way of relating in this world, a new way of structuring the societies that we live in so that they're more fair, they're more just, so they respect the earth and we respect each other. That is possible. We can build it, but we have to go through the process of upheaval and destabilization and facing the really difficult aspects of our lives that are not working, that have wounded us, that are going to make us stronger. But it's big work, and love and patience and trust and faith in the process. I am sending you all so much love. Take care this week. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Avoid reactive interactions with others if you can. Watch what's going on the sidelines. Take some time to journal and write down your intentions. Be good to yourselves. Much, much love. See you next time.